Hi, good evening. How are you? It's been a long time, I know. It's been quite a while since I've posted a video on a dream, and it's not because I haven't had dreams. I have been having some dreams. They have mostly just been for me. So this morning, though, on May the 12th, 2021, I had a dream that I've not been able to shake, and the way Holy Spirit deals with me when it comes to the dreams that I'm allowed to have. He lets me know that it's an important one when it is a dream that is very detailed, very loud. I can't forget about it. It keeps coming back to the forefront. And this morning was one of those. So I want to share that with you. It may or may not be significant at all. I did not eat pizza before I went to bed. I did not have any dessert before I went to bed. And even though I have no way of proving it to you, I've not really been paying attention to what's been going on in the White House specifically for at least about maybe 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, almost a month. I am fully aware of what's going on in Israel, though. I did find out about that yesterday, and so I'm praying for Israel. With that said, what I wanted to share with you was the dream I had this morning before I hit the record button. Just to let you know, I did pray. I asked Holy Spirit to remind me of any details that may have slipped. So I was dreaming this morning that I was standing in a parking lot and I was seeing Nancy Pelosi. She was being carried on, and I'm not sure how to pronounce the word, but it was those carriers, if you've ever watched any of Bible story movies that were done back in the day, or even not necessarily a Bible story movie, but in the movies back in the day, they would show you Egyptian royalty being carried on, I think it's called palanquins. I think that's the word, but it's basically, it looks like a litter box, like a half-cut litter box, very luxurious looking because it's velvety and like a couch, whatever. And there's typically 4 male individuals carrying this transportation, I guess, item. And anyway, so she was on one of these things, and 4 men were holding her up. And it was very strange because I'm not sure how to express this correctly, but as I was watching her being carried across the parking lot into the entrance of a car wash. I know, it's weird, it's funny, it's strange, but most of the things that happen in my dreams are kind of weird and strange. Just go back and look at some of the ones I've previously recorded. But she was being carried into the entrance of a car wash. And when I said a minute ago, I'm not sure how to explain. I was referencing the fact that as I was watching her being carried into the entrance of this car wash, I don't know if I heard audibly, if I felt physically, or if I felt spiritually the name Pharaoh, but it was so loud and it reverberated throughout my physical body. I guess maybe I did feel it in the physical, but it felt so strong. I could just, it was Pharaoh. And it sounded the name just, it drug on all the way, the entire time that she was being carried into the car wash, all the way through up until the moment that she came out of the exit. Now, I knew that this was a car wash, not just because structurally it looked like a car wash, and I've been to a car wash, but the words car wash were on the outside of the, at the top, as you come out the exit, the words car wash were there. And now, of course, when you come out of a car wash, your car comes out clean. When Nancy Pelosi came out of this car wash, the first thing that I looked at was her face. It was very strange. Now, to my knowledge, and from what I've seen only on TV, Nancy Pelosi seems to be a very petite woman and relatively, looks fairly decent for her age. I know that she's up there in age. I don't mean any disrespect by that, but compared to maybe others in real life, I think she looks fairly decent. But when she came out of this car wash, she did not look so good. I know that people, when they are at the door of death, that can look like many different things, but there's no doubt that it looks like death, right? I don't know if you've ever seen that. I've seen somebody getting ready to pass in person, my mother, in fact. And so the only explanation or description that I can give you of what she looked like is she looked like she had been starved, like she was dying because of starvation, famine. It was that look like I've seen in commercials or in not infomercials, but those advertisements that you see about children dying of starvation in other nations, and they look, a different kind of way. Um, and so this is what she looked like. That was one thing about her that I was like, oh my gosh. The next thing about her was that she also, and this is the easiest way that I can explain it, and no pun intended at all, but she looked like she had been at the bottom of the swamp, and when she came up out of the water, and when she came up, in this case, out of the car wash, instead of coming out clean, she came out with green, mossy junk all over her face. It looked like, I don't know, like seaweed, moss. It looked like whatever was at the bottom of the swamp. And when she came up out of the water, it was attached to her. It was all over her clothes, her face, her hair. She looked terrible, terrible. And the next thing, and at the end of, just before the end of the dream, was suddenly out of nowhere, there was a mob. There was a group of people. There was a crowd that was yelling at her, throwing trash at her, mocking her. I couldn't make out what they were saying at all, but I could tell they were angry. I could tell they were very angry, very upset. And that was it. I woke up from the dream and I said, Lord, my Lord, what could this be about? So, as I said in the beginning, it could mean absolutely nothing. And then again, it could mean something, but I wanted to record it for my records. And I may need to reference this at a later time. I certainly do hope that I get an opportunity to share more things with you. I know this past year has been very difficult for a lot of people. It was not easy for my family either, but it was also a time of blessing. It was an opportunity for me, participate in Passover for the second time. I did it for the first time in 2019. And then last year, it took on a whole new meaning. And God has just been so good to me. So, so good to me. So anyway, that's it for tonight. I love you. Have a good night. And until next time, please take care of yourself. Draw close to the Lord as close as you can. Now more than ever, it is extremely important to get close to the Father and listen to his heart, listen to what he's saying, and get ready. Get ready.